Thanks for choosing us. Tonight, President John Dramani Mahama has declared Ghana, quote, back on track and working again, unquote, in his 2026 State of the Nation address, crediting his administration with stabilizing the economy after inheriting a severe crisis, according to him. He said the previous administration, reckless economic management, had left the country with unsustainable debt. Here's a NewsDesk report capturing key highlights of his address.
The president started by highlighting the many achievements of his administration's 14 months in office, stating that he has demonstrated fiscal discipline.
I told this August House then, when I appeared before you last year, that we would have to take tough, prudent and necessary decisions to restore stability and credibility. Today, Mr. Speaker, I can say to you with confidence, Ghana is back. Ghana is working again, and Ghana is open for business. The fundamentals are improving, and the path to sustained acceleration is very clear to everyone.
On the cocoa sector, President Mahama explained that government had to take the difficult decision to slash producer prices, noting that failure to act prudently would have forced the state to borrow billions to sustain payment.
We have had to take the painful but necessary decision to revise the producer price of cocoa to achieve competitive pricing and resolve the acute liquidity challenges in the sector. Mr. Speaker, failure to do this as others did and left a debt of 32 billion for this government to pay. Failure to do this would have meant borrowing billions in borrowed funds. Mr. Speaker, this unplanned expenditure would have taken us right back to the very devastating economic problem we have only recently begun to escape.
President Mahama also noted that with global gold prices expected to remain high, Ghana must strategically capitalize on the opportunity. He indicated that this objective underpins the Ghana Accelerated National Revenue Accumulation Policy, which is designed to boost foreign reserves and enhance economic resilience.
Mr. Speaker, it is forecast that gold prices will remain high over the next 3 years. And so this presents us with a unique opportunity to build an economic war chest to withstand any global economic shocks, to secure our macroeconomic stability and improve the standards of living of our citizens and build a lasting prosperity for future generations. This is what the GANRAP policy seeks to achieve.
He says his government has tackled exchange rate volatility, not by arresting the dollar, but rather strengthening the Cedi to compete strongly against major foreign currencies.
We made currency stability a priority, and Mr. Speaker, we have delivered. Mr. Speaker, we did not arrest the dollar. We strengthened the Cedi to put up a good fight against the other currencies. We did not arrest the dollar. We strengthened the Cedi to put up a good fight against the other currencies.
Government plans to introduce legislation that will make parliamentary approval mandatory before sale or lease of state lands and enterprises.
We will also bring legislation to this House to make it mandatory to seek Parliament's prior approval before any government asset or property is leased out or sold. This includes lands and state enterprises.
To tackle food glut, government has committed $300 million to the buffer stock company to mop up excess produce.
Mr. Speaker, this year we have committed 300 million Ghana cedis to the National Food Buffer Stock Company to mop up excess produce, to stabilize prices, and build a strategic national food buffer against emergencies, marking the first time Ghana has deliberately built a food reserve for national resilience.
In the education sector, government says it has introduced daily feeding grants for students in public schools from 8 cities to 15 cities.
Government has also increased the daily feeding grants for students in public special schools from 8 cedis per day to 15 cedis per day. This significant increment reflects our resolve to address the unique nutritional and health needs of learners with disabilities.
In his concluding remarks, President John Dramani Mahama assured Ghanaians that while challenges remain, his administration remains committed to deepening reforms, restoring fiscal discipline, and building a resilient economy that would deliver shared prosperity for all.
Well, government has given the firm assurance that the cost of electricity will soon see a significant reduction to offer consumers some relief as renegotiations are underway with the independent power producers. Speaking during the 2026 State of the Nation address in Parliament, President John Dramani Mahama said the revised existing power purchase agreements will be presented to Cabinet and later to Parliament for approval. Before we hear from the President, let's listen to some consumers expressing concerns over the high cost of electricity right here in Accra.
If you buy the 100 cedis, just 3 days or 4 days finished. It's like Osembo, shoo, if you put inside, shoo, it go. Yesterday I said, I sleep. I don't get light from my house. My credit card, I don't get money from my phone to buy the credit. Yesterday I sleep there.
How much do you used to buy before, and how long does it take you?
The first time I used to buy 50 cedis. I go fit take 2 weeks before the credit finish. But this time I buy 100 cedis, 3 days, 4 days, it finish.
As he has said, it's the same business that we are doing. Now the light is costing too much. We don't know whether they have increased. I heard that they have increased the light bill, the price of the light bill. If you buy it at first, in this room, when we buy 200 Ghana cedis, it will take us maybe 1 week or 8 days or 10 days. But now, 200 Ghana cedis, it won't reach 1 week. Then the credit will finish. So it costs us a lot.
Right now, electricity is very bad in Ghana right now. Because at first we used to buy maybe 5,000. It will take us months. But now, 2 weeks, we need to buy 4,000.
To President John Dramani Mahama, who says all these issues will be addressed with the introduction of a new model. Fatal Bayaga reports.
To address the high cost of power, the government...
President Mahama says the new approach will save the nation approximately 250 million cedis, with about 1.1 billion in legacy debt restructured for payment between 2026 and 2028.
To address the high cost of power, the government has successfully renegotiated existing power purchase agreements. Engagements with the 9 independent power producers have resulted in a 250 million immediate savings and 1.1 billion of legacy debt restructured for payments between the period 2026 and 2028. These revised agreements will be submitted to Cabinet, and I'm pleased to inform you, Mr. Speaker, will be brought here to Parliament for ratification.
The president also recounted that the country's energy sector had been plunged into a serious crisis in early 2025 as a result of financial constraints.
Mr. Speaker, in January 2025, we inherited an energy sector on the brink of collapse. That had been precipitated by a severe financial crisis. The sector was burdened with a staggering debt of 80 billion Ghana cedis.
President Mahama also disclosed that the Tema oil refinery has been revived, with the company beginning the processing of crude oil into petroleum products for the first time since 2018.
Mr. Speaker, I'm also pleased to announce to you that Tema oil refinery is back. I'm pleased to inform this August House that for the first time since 2018, the refinery has commenced processing of crude oil into petroleum products again.
President Mahama further noted that the government between January and December 2025 settled all outstanding gas invoices owed in the energy sector.
Between January and December 2025, through carefully coordinated policy actions, the government settled all outstanding gas invoices that were owed to ENI and Vitol, amounting to approximately $500 million.
The president also announced that 200 out of 400 targeted communities have been connected to the national grid under the Rural Electrification Program.
Under the Rural Electrification Program, 200 out of the 400 targeted communities have been connected to the national grid, with a further 100 at various stages of completion. The national electricity access for Ghana today stands at 89.05. We are committed to ensuring that every Ghanaian has access to reliable, affordable electricity.
Meanwhile, reactions are coming in thick and fast from Parliament. The minority have made the cocoa price reduction issues the hill to die on. Minority Leader Alexander Fayon-Markin, speaking to journalists after the president's address, insisted that the NPP will accept nothing but a reversal of the price cut.
We are all aware that when the NDC was in opposition, they promised that upon assumption of office, the minimum price they will pay for cocoa per bag, that is the producer price or the farm gate price, will be 6,000 Ghana cedis. Today, they have rather reduced the price of cocoa per bag, making the poor cocoa farmer worse off. They claim that there were some international market downturns. Therefore, the poor cocoa farmer should suffer for it. But it's the reason why the state has reserves. It's the reason why we have a country called Ghana, that when there is crisis, the state must intervene. What the government has failed to tell us is how much it will cost the country should the cocoa farmer be given support by maintaining the 3,600 per bag of cocoa. They didn't tell us. They rather reduced the price, gave a haircut, and today, Mr. President could not offer any reasonable explanation. Neither could he give a justification for this haircut. We again reiterate our demand on the president and his government. Pay the cocoa farmer. Pay the cocoa farmer what is rightfully his.
The Education Minister, Haruna Idrisu, says the government will not spend where no growth will be recorded. He insists the John Mahama administration has handled the cocoa situation in the best possible way.
Has there been economic recovery? Yeah, there has been. Inflation is on the decline, debt is on the decline from the unsustainable level. Prosperity and hope is restored only when you spend on areas that spurs growth. So at least on the management of the economy, we are far more better and superior to the Nana Addo Dankwa Kenneth-Ofori-Atta administration. What many Ghanaians should not forget is the long-term damage that Nana Addo Dankwa did to the Ghanaian economy will take time to heal and to recover. And I see the politics of cocoa coming up very strongly, justifiably so, because one of our main exports and one of our main foreign exchange earners and one of our major employers. But I know, as President Rawlings observed in one State of the Nation address, to eat an omelette, you must break an egg. I'm sure President Mahama has just broken the egg, so that through reforms, he can reposition cocoa as a major export earner of Ghana with guaranteed prices. So what I see President Mahama do through the Minister of Finance and Agriculture is to reform the adjustability of cocoa prices so that when it's good at the international market, farmers get the direct benefit.
Well, we took to the streets of Accra to engage some traders who have been sharing their thoughts about the president's State of the Nation address.
Our president said the dollar is okay now. The dollar is not affecting our lives. Now, things in the market are each and every day, it's goes up, the prices and everything. And there is no money in the system, you see. Yeah, we are suffering, though, my sister. It's not easy. And I can boldly say that Doomsday is back again. Yeah, and the electricity bill too is too much.
Well, you've also been affected by the incessant, prepaid.
Yeah. As it was last year that way, or last 2 years, I bought what do you call it? Prepaid. Yeah, prepaid 150, 120. It will take me like 2 months. But nowadays, if I buy 100 cedis, 120, it's like 2 weeks to 3 weeks. So, yeah, and I can boldly say that Doomsday is back again.
Where do you live?
Ashama, Lebanon.
And how often does your light go off?
Last 3 days, it went off around 9 p.m. and yesterday too. And it will come around 12. It will go like 2 hours and come back 3 hours and daytime too. You see, so the Doomsday is still back. Yeah.
So you cannot feel the economic boom the president is talking about in your pocket.
So not at all. The dollar and everything, not at all. The things that I sell is the same price and it's even increasing, you see. So I don't see anything, yeah.
So you heard that Frida is a mother of 3. She came, I'm sure, to shop for school bags from Mr. Cardinal. Mr. Cardinal, Frida does not agree with the president. What do you say?
Yeah, what I also say is that for me, I think the president is trying a little, but I have to try more because the money is not flowing. Everywhere people are complaining, no market. Sometimes you come 2 days, 3 days, can't even sell one thing. Everybody is complaining. It's not telling me. So you need to do something. The money is not flowing. But coming to the dollar and the other things, I think he's trying his best on that one. Yeah, the dollar is coming down quite a lot, but still.
So do you feel that effect of the Cedi performing well against the dollar when you buy some of these goods to come and sell?
Yeah, because first, some of the bear, we buy it 4,500, 4,300, but now you can get it around 4,000. You understand? But the problem is that the money is not coming.
Reducing it for me.
Oh, Cardinal is not reducing the goods and
No.
Which is one thing a lot of people have been complaining about, that you market people aren't reducing the prices of goods and services.
Let me tell you, the problem is there. Eh? For she buys selection, and now the way we will sell first things. The way they are bringing the things now, sometimes when they bring the bell, we open it baller. The selection we see inside will be like 10 or 20 pieces. Other one will be baller.
So the selection you're talking about is like the very good pricey stuff.
The very nice one that so anybody see that can like. You understand? So those ones we have to sell to get your small money. Other ones you can sell them 10 cedis. Nobody even want to buy it. Yeah. So I think.
So for those you have to price it twice or thrice the price, so you can make up for what you spent in buying the bill.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so again, for you think that the president is trying?
Oh, he's trying best. To be honest with you, he's trying best. Just that the money is not flowing, so you need to do something.
What do you think he can improve upon that would make you happy as a Ghanaian?
You see, everybody need money. You understand me? Everybody need money. I think what you need to do to Ghanaian is, number one, those people that are bringing the goods, they should know the kind of goods they are bringing. You understand? Because last time I buy bag and I open it, it's bought as well. It's big. They didn't even collect it. I lost. So you have to talk to those importers that are bringing the goods so that they know what they are bringing to.
I mean, he says that freight prices has also been slashed.
Yeah. But I think those people that are going to bring the goods, the kind of goods they are bringing to Ghana here is not fair. You understand? Sometimes when you open the goods, you will be imagining, is it human being going to use this kind of thing? They don't even care. That's what, for my own business, that's what affects me. Yeah.
Right, Cardinal, thank you so much. So I've been engaging with Frida.
Well, let's head now to the Ashanti region, where the Electricity Company of Ghana is raising alarm over the rise in cases of illegal electricity connections and self-reconnection by disconnected customers in the Ashanti region. Authorities say these illegal activities are significantly impacting the company's revenue, a vital funding source needed for ongoing and future developmental projects in the region. General Manager for Ashanti South, Engineer Jonathan Kofi Jabing, tells JoyNews the widespread practice hinders ECG's ability to deliver safe, reliable and quality power supply. Ohiminteria has more in the following report.
The Electricity Company of Ghana says many customers in the Ashanti region shy away from paying their bills and often resort to illegal self-reconnection after being disconnected for non-payment. General Manager of Ashanti South Region of ECG, Engineer Jonathan Kofi Ajabin says this widespread practice of power theft is causing substantial financial losses to the ECG. This, he says, is hindering ECG's ability to provide safe, reliable and quality power supply to customers.
I've realized that most of the customers in the Ashanti region don't pay. So when they don't pay and we disconnect, they reconnect themselves. And in fact, this self-reconnection is impacting negatively on our revenue. And we are not able to get enough finance to carry out such project that we intend to carry out in the Ashanti region. For that reason, I want to encourage customers who have been disconnected not to reconnect, but they should come to our nearest offices with any challenge that they need. The debt that they owe can be scheduled for them to pay.
Engineer Ajabin warned self-connection and power theft are punishable offenses, which is the reason ECG's Revenue Protection Unit collaborates with the police to bring perpetrators to book. He revealed ECG has launched a series of community engagement programs in the Ashanti region to reach out to the public on the need for them to pay their bills promptly.
One of the strategies is that we need to engage the community, as you rightly said, for them to be aware and to know the negative activities of their people who have been stealing power and how it is impacting negatively to our operation as a company. And also to let them know that when they steal power, it affects the quality of the supply, because most of the connection we do, we know we have data for it. Because of they are stealing, we don't have data, and that it makes it difficult to know the kind of power we should send to that community. We also want to help that encourage the community to tell us or give us information about anyone who is stealing power. As we said earlier on, whenever you give an information about illegal connection, there's an incentive given to that informant, and we will make sure that that informant is protected. We will not mention his name anywhere. So we encourage that people should give us those information so that we can track and calm down those illegality in our system.
Meanwhile, Engineer Ejabin is asking residents in the Ashanti region to take advantage of the company's reward package for reporting those who engage in power theft. The power company, as part of intensified efforts to combat illegal power connections, is offering 6% of the total surcharged amount to members of the public who will act as whistleblowers. From Kumasi, for Joy News, Ohiminteria reporting.
You're still watching JoyNewsPrime. When we return from this quick 10, we'll tell you the steps government is taking to restore peace in Binyiri. Thanks for staying with us. Well, government is taking steps to restore Binyiri to normalcy following the conflict that ravaged the community and displaced several others. Interior Minister Muntaka Mubarak confirmed that almost all displaced persons have returned home following the mediation efforts from the conflict. He has been speaking at the presentation of the mediation reports, where he indicated that government is committed to restoring lasting peace in the area.
But I'm happy to say that almost every person who was displaced has been returned, unless those who voluntarily want to join other families somewhere. But almost everyone who was displaced has been returned. And we are working very hard to ensure that some of the losses that have been incurred, government takes steps. But we're waiting for this report. And I want to believe that your report might have recommended a lot that our government is required to act on. And I want to assure you that with the help of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, action will be taken very swiftly on this recommendation.
Well, Chairperson of the Mediation Committee, Manu Bombande, says the committee's work represents only the beginning of a broader peace-building process. He explains that the next phase will focus on implementation, including community-level engagement and structured dialogues.
The work that we did was only a first step. The process now is in the implementation. Now, let me quickly add that for that to happen, going forward, in solar, for example, we are hoping there will be a sort of a mini Deba to unpack the commitments of the Lobby Brifor and the Gunja chiefs and elders, and do the same in Bole and another urban area in the Savannah region. And once we do that, even areas that are not greenery but are experiencing conflicts, can they be brought into support? And that's why we are appealing to the media, to development partners, CSOs, to work with the Regional Security Coordinating Council with the support of central government, so that the process then moves forward, and not to limit this to our report, which was the first step in the efforts to restore peace in the Savannah region, particularly Guinea and its surrounding areas.
Away from security to education now, the Ministry of Education says decentralized teacher posting are essential to ensure children in rural communities have access to quality education. The move comes as stakeholders and partners intensify efforts to protect children and reduce child labor. There's more in the following report.
At the National Stakeholder Engagement on the My Life, My Rights and My Rights, My Future projects organized by Right to Play Ghana, Principal Programs Officer at the Ministry of Education, Isaac Ataban, called for the decentralization of teacher postings to district directors to help address rural teacher shortages and improve retention.
It is time that we try to decentralize it again. And I think the ministry, Ghana Education Service Management, is thinking about this so that we can, decentralize this to the district level, so that district directors would do the postings to where teacher services are needed.
Project manager of the MLMR initiative at Right to Play Ghana, Julius Kwame Chachu, says community savings groups have raised over 1 million cedis in 6 months to ease household poverty.
We are partnering with PDA to form 40 VSLAs. When we say VSLAs, it's Village Savings and Loans Associations in 20 communities. And so far, in their 6 months of work, these committees, the VSLAs, have been able to raise well over 1 million Ghana cedis in savings, and they have given out over 900,000 as loan to the members.
Child protection specialist at Right to Play Ghana, Olivia Tizayel, says the project seeks to strengthen district capacity to ensure referred children get needed support.
We are looking at strengthening systems, not just addressing child labor issues. And if we are strengthening systems, it's a coordinated effort across all sectors, especially from the national level to the district to the community. Because whilst we are looking at a community-led systems approach, we have to ensure that all these are in alignment with the national policies, such as the National Child Protection Policy and also the National Plan of Action in Eliminating Child Labor.
Stakeholders say sustained collaboration between communities, government agencies and partners like Right to Play Ghana is key to protecting children and reducing child labor across the country. For Joy News, Evelyn Ampers report, read to you.
The Deputy Italian Ambassador to Ghana has reaffirmed Italy's commitment to deepening agricultural and trade cooperation with Ghana following the successful completion of the Labinova Ghana training program in Accra. The intensive program, organized by the Italian Trade Agency in partnership with the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, the Federation of Associations of Ghanaian Exporters, and the Ghana National Chamber of Agribusiness, brought together agribusiness experts, agricultural machinery experts, and exporters as well, just to deliberate on key issues. The following report has more.
Speaking at the closing ceremony of the Labinova Ghana training program, the Deputy Italian Ambassador to Ghana, Gabriele Palermo, said the initiative will support value addition in Ghana and aligns with renewed cooperation under Italy's Mattei Plan for Africa, which is opening up new opportunities in agriculture, digital innovation and education.
The Italian Trade Agency, by its mandate, is its main aim is to boost, let's say, trade relationships between Italy and partner countries. So promoting, of course, cross-country trade. And one of the main goals of this initiative is to help let's say, Ghanaian entrepreneurs have better access to international markets and the Italian market. So they'll be able to, let's say, export maybe more of their product. And also, let's say, we are also very, very keen on, let's say, providing tools and resources for the adding of value here in Ghana.
Director of the Italian agency in Ghana, Lucia Puca, said helping Ghanaian companies access European and Italian markets ultimately benefits both sides, creating a mutually beneficial trade relationship.
In this case, we had this training with managers of companies, agricultural companies that are already in the business. So it's a training. It's a form of a class. We have experts on management and international marketing, or technician on a technical matter. But what seems to be the most useful is an exchange of information. We not only provide information, but we also get information from market and from your farmers and Ghanaian entrepreneurs.
One of the participants shared experience after the program.
You open our mind to understand what is happening in the European market, both production and export and equipment laid, because there's a couple of presentation on equipment, manufacturing equipment company, and what the tools we'll be using if now agriculture is a mechanized farm. So we always want to give or be grateful to this opportunity.
With strong interest from Ghanaian agribusinesses and plans to expand future editions, the program signals sustained collaboration aimed at boosting exports, strengthening small and medium enterprises, and creating long-term value for both economies.
You're still watching Joy News Prime. We're back after this quick turn. Please stay with us. But before that, the Ghanaian Society of Cardiology is alarmed over the continuous rise in the cases of heart failure reported at various health facilities across the country. Latest statistics from the study conducted by the Society shows that 8 out of 10 cardiac hospitalization cases recorded in Konfanoche Teaching Hospital in Kumasi were attributable to heart failures. The following report has more.
Heart failure remains one of the most pressing cardiovascular challenges in Africa, with Ghana recording daily cases of the condition. It is a leading cause of death among adults in Ghana, with the average age estimated between 40 and 50 years. A single-center study at the Konfanoche Teaching Hospital revealed 88% of cases brought to the cardiothoracic department of the hospital were heart failure incidences. Dr. Lambert Tete Apia is the General Secretary of the Ghanaian Society of Cardiology.
There is data that was published here at Konfanoche Kumasi, which has shown cardiac diseases are on the rise. In fact, over a period of 10 years, between 2004 and 2014, which data was published in 2017, shows that the commonest reason for cardiac hospitalizations is due to heart failure. So it's a big issue. The second thing we did in that study or in that data showed that I wanted to know why or what were the underlying factors for why people will come with heart failure. And we realized that the commonest reason is hypertension.
The 2026 annual general meeting of the Ghanaian Society of Cardiology assembled adult and pediatric cardiologists, cardiothoracic surgeons, pharmacists, and other health professionals. Ashanti Regional Director of the Ghana Health Services, Dr. Fred Adomako Boateng, elaborated some challenges confronting cardiology healthcare delivery in the country. He explained that the lack of diagnostic tools, especially in the Ashanti region, the late presentation of cases and high doctor-to-patient ratio are contributing challenges to the growing statistics.
Data from sub-Saharan Africa confirms that hypertension is the predominant driver, contributing to nearly 40 to 50% of heart failure cases, followed by cardiomyopathies and rheumatic heart disease. In specialized units like CAF, heart failure accounts for a staggering 88% of cardiac admissions. These numbers reflect not just biology, Mr. Chair, Dr. Chair, but the lived consequences of late diagnosis, poor blood pressure control, and uneven access to long-term care.
The two-day scientific meeting discussed crucial topics on hypertensive heart failures, the role of device therapy and surgery in the management of heart failure. CEO of the University of Ghana Medical Center, Dr. Abdul Samad Tanko, highlighted proactive and preventive medical strategies to reduce the growing numbers.
Heart failure, there are so many stages of heart failure to the point where you have a heart transplant. But from the beginning that you start having the heart failure, you need to be on certain medications. Guideline-directed medications, failure of which you will never get the patients to be out of heart failure. That is why we have enough fellows in training, so that these people will be able to understand what is it that the patient requires to get him out of heart failure.
For JoyNews, my name is Emmanuel Bright-Kweku.
In world news, the UK has temporarily withdrawn staff from its embassy in Tehran, describing the move as a precautionary measure amid rising tensions over possible US military action against Iran. The embassy will continue operating remotely. The decision follows indirect talks in Geneva between the United States and Iran aimed at averting conflict over Tehran's nuclear program. Mediator Oman said further negotiations are expected. The U.S. Embassy in Israel has authorized the departure of non-emergency staff and families. Several countries, including China, India, and Canada, have also urged their citizens to leave Iran. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is expected in Israel for talks with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu as tensions persist. Up next is Showbiz. Please stay.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Prime Business. I am Pius Kojobaka. President John Mahama has reaffirmed his government's commitment to fiscal prudence and responsible governance, outlining a series of measures aimed at stabilizing and reviving the economy. Delivering the State of the Nation address today in Parliament, he highlighted key policy interventions rolled out to restore macroeconomic stability and rebuild public confidence.
From the outset, we resolved to choose discipline over waste, reform over excuses, and stability over speculation. As a responsible government, our first order of business was to halt the economic hemorrhaging and restore order to our public finances. We tightened expenditure and commitment controls. We improved payables reporting and conducted a comprehensive audit of 2024 commitments to restore credibility and discipline. Mr. Speaker, these measures have begun to deliver some of the most remarkable economic outcomes in decades. Mr. Speaker, as we approach the celebration of our 69th independence anniversary, we do so not only with pride in our past, but also with renewed hope for our future. We are building prosperity through sound policy, responsible governance, and inclusive growth. We are restoring hope by delivering on our promises and proving that good leadership makes a measurable difference in our people's lives. The Resetting Ghana agenda is working. The Accra Reset is gaining momentum. And together they are laying the foundation for a stronger, more resilient, and more prosperous Ghana. Mr. Speaker, our nation is on the runway. It is in takeoff mode. And you are all advised to fasten your seatbelts.
Reacting to the address, senior finance lecturer at the University of Cape Coast Business School, Professor Seram Kawo, urged government to channel sustained investment into critical sectors of the economy if Ghana is to surpass the projected $100 billion mark. Speaking to Joy Business, he stressed that achieving the target will require continued fiscal discipline, strategic planning, and prudent resource management.
You see, for us to develop and for us to have sustainable development, there is the need for proper planning. It is always said that proper planning prevents poor performance. You must know where the money is coming from and where you are going to use the money. And that comes in handy when you heard the president talk about the value for money office bill that will be passed by the parliament and will be sent to parliament by the Ministry of Finance to ensure that we get value for money and to ensure that our public procurement issues will be revamped, to ensure that whatever that we are doing, we are going to ensure that procurement for single sourcing is only to the extreme. It is one of the sectors that I'm so excited about because it brings out a lot of public funds that are not used for the right purpose. Now, when we want to ensure that we get value for money and to ensure that we grow from one stage to the other, we need to invest in the right sectors of the economy. Right. Education, agriculture. We need to involve ourselves in industry. And that is where the 24-hour economy, making sure that the industries fit into whatever we are doing, is very key. And that is where there is the need for industry to partner educational institutions to train the human resource that they need. That will be required in industry to propel the growth that they want in industry.
Meanwhile, the business community wants government to do more with respect to reducing the cost of doing business despite the current gains. Stefan Mason Abbas is the president of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry.
It is true. What the business community complain about is true. Fees and charges have gone up. Okay? I mean, you know that recently, even the president has said that, look, they should look at this electricity problem where you buy electricity and in just some few minutes, it's all gone. So all these things are costs to industry. Other tariffs have gone up as well, even though we know that VAT has technically been brought down, but in as much as it is still cost to private sector. And these are things that we have been advocating and talking about to ensure that the government brings its attention to these issues so that it can be addressed to the private sector, to the benefit of this thing. I was also looking out for, I don't know if I've already mentioned it, but deliberate private sector support, because the policy of 24 hours is good. If the economy can operate 24 hours, it's good. But it's the private sector that is going to operate within that 24 hours. It's not government, it's private sector. So what is the deliberate private sector support that the government is actually doing or issuing to ensure that private sector is supported? Recently, the chamber has advocated for the reduction in the reference rate, which the Bank of Ghana, Governor of Bank of Ghana has done its work. The monetary policy has done a lot to bring it down. But then there's also the issue of access to the funds. And yes. And
let me look at going forward. Did the president give you that assurance when it comes to fiscal discipline by the government going forward? And did he give you some assurance for, as a business community, that we've seen that posturing or sense of fiscal discipline from the president being the most senior person in the government going forward? Yes,
that one is done. I think in the speech there are a lot of policies and pronouncement that has been made to ensure that we maintain the fiscal discipline. And you see, it is not even what we have achieved now, but it's also its sustainability. It's something that we also need to avert our mind to it in the long term. What are the policies that the government is putting down? So the president mentioned them to global economic watchers, which is good. So it means that we need to put, as a country, we need to put in policies where issues like COVID, Ukraine war, electricity issues that President Mahama faced under his tenure, all those things are things that, look, we are insulated from going forward.
Away from the State of the Nation address concerns, Salam Alliance General Insurance Ghana Limited has announced plans to leverage its upcoming innovative products to drive a 65% expansion this year. Speaking to Joy Business, Chief Executive Officer of Salam Alliance General Insurance Ghana Limited, Mabel Nananya Kwapubli, emphasized the company's commitment to transforming Ghanaian insurance landscape with innovative solutions with a specific focus on the retail market.
I have to grow by almost 65% on prior year. I mean, it's a steep objective, and we're looking, like I told you, we have some new products that we think will thrive. We have some new partnerships that are coming up, and I mentioned that when you have partnerships, allow you to reach large markets that you can't reach by yourself. And so we believe that those partnerships will give us the numbers that we are looking at. We're also expanding our retail very rapidly in 2026. And we believe that the retail side, the partnerships should give us quite a huge leap. But of course, we've set ourselves apart in this market for corporate business, especially when it comes to multinationals. We are able to do global global policy. So basically, you'll sit in Ghana, you have subsidiaries in different countries. Because we have presences in 26 countries, we're able to pull it together and give you one policy, which you won't find that happening on this market. So we've positioned ourselves that way for multinationals and international companies who have presence in more than one country or in multiple countries. And we believe that that's something that the customers are looking for, because we've seen a bit of traction on that this year with either companies who have their head offices in Accra but have presence in other countries, or countries who are going to other countries as well.
Now, the International Facility Management Association, known as EMFA Ghana chapter, is set to draft a bill to regulate facility management in the built industry. This move aims to promote good maintenance practices and ensure safety within the outside structures. Here is more. The International Facility Management Ghana chapter, known as IFMA, at a National Stakeholders Forum, emphasized the importance of facility management in ensuring facilities live up to their expected lifespan. Speaking to Joy Business, President of IFMA Ghana chapter, Samson Opari Ajiman, highlighted the need for a maintenance manual for every facility to guide effective management and safety. He added that the association is drafting a bill to regulate facility management in the built industry.
So it's going to be a bill for facilities management. Yeah. And so, facilities management is an aspect of a profession in the built environment. All right. So we want to isolate architecture, we want to isolate construction, we want to isolate surveying, and have a standalone policy for facilities management, so that we are focused on the activities of facilities management and driving of our facilities management to achieve the strategic, benefits that comes with it, so that we are not, our minds are not, divergent, but narrowed to the benefit of facilities management.
Delivering the keynote address on behalf of the Minister of Works and Housing, Chief Director at the Ministry, Irene Mesiba, said government will continue to develop and create an enabling framework of sustainable policies and regulations to guide infrastructure delivery in the country.
We also discussed the need for policy guidelines tailored to Ghana's infrastructure and governance context, and the establishment of an appropriate regulatory structure to improve institutional standards. These discussions are clearly shaping the policy discourse. And I want to take this opportunity to commend this productive, collaborative effort. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Ghana's journey to develop a robust, sustainable built environment that will serve our needs today and in the future remains prioritized agenda. Government will continue to develop and create an enabling environment and also a framework of sustainable policies and regulations to guide infrastructure delivery in the country.
IFMA, over the years, have been working with technical universities to introduce facility management courses, and is also pushing for public-private partnerships to guarantee long-term maintenance and sustainability. While longer within the housing industry, the executive director of the Ghana Real Estate Developers Association, Samuel Amega-Ibo, has described the new rent bill limiting rent advance to 1 year as fair, a necessary intervention to ease the burden on tenants. Speaking to Joy Business, Mr. Amega-Ibo acknowledged that landlords have traditionally demanded 2 years rent advance or more when given the opportunity. However, he stressed that such requirements place a heavy financial strain on many renters, particularly young professionals who are just starting their careers.
Landlords normally take 2 years advance now and more if they have the opportunity, but I think they all have to appreciate that it doesn't come easy for people to raise those huge sort of funds just to settle rent, and so they should agree and appreciate that it's a mutual, consideration between parties, and so if they appreciate the need to limit or don't demand for too much at a time, I think it goes a long way to help, especially the young ones who have just started work, and then you settle there with several thousands a month, multiplied by 12 and 24 and all that. I think it was a bit on the high side for people. So for me, I think the 1 year should be fair.
The Ghana Hotels Association has called on government to enforce mandatory membership for all hospitality agencies in professional associations, aiming to enhance standards and security within the industry. The appeal was made by the president of the association, Dr. Edward Akanyamike Jr., during the opening ceremony of the association's 13th Biennial Congress. More in this report.
This year's Congress of the Ghana Hotels Association not only reflects 5 decades of the association's impact, but also sets the stage for continued collaboration and development within Ghana's vibrant tourism and hospitality landscape. The event in Kumasi highlighted the association's enduring commitment to advancing hospitality and its significant role in Ghana's economy and the tourism sector. It provided a platform for national officers to present reports, engage with delegates, plan strategic initiatives for the upcoming year, and conduct elections for new national executives who will steer the association for the next 4 years. President of the association, Dr. Edward Akanyamike, speaking at the event, urged the government to enforce mandatory membership in hospitality associations, arguing that such policies would strengthen guest security, comfort, and safety across the industry.
One of the things that I regret that we couldn't do within my 8 years, which I need to mention, is about the mandatory membership of hotels association by the various hotels. Okay, as we speak, we have a lot of hotels who are outside the membership of the 2 main hotels association in Ghana. We have the Ghana Hotels Association, then we have the Ghana Progressive Hotels Association. We've been pushing for government to make it compulsory for every hotel to belong. Okay, and you see, it borders on the sensitivity of the hotel industry. Talk about security, as was mentioned. Talk about comfort. Talk about safety of our guests. And this is a business that is not only local, but international as well. So you have people coming from other countries. Okay, so we cannot allow people to sit on the fence when it comes to regulation. Yes, the GTA will regulate them. And in some cases, they don't even get some of the hotels to regulate. There are unlicensed hotels in the system. These are ways that we as an association can help them. So together, we make sure that every hotel is accounted for.
Metropolitan Chief Executive for Kumasi, Richard Ofori-Ajiman-Bodi, assured of the government's ongoing commitment to enhancing the operations and service standards within the hospitality and tourism industries.
As government, we will be with you throughout your programs and policies and make sure that whatever support that you need will provide it so that the hospitality industry can grow and grow to support and grow Ghana. To that end, government is making efforts at making sure that we help in providing the appropriate infrastructure that will enhance the outlook of the hospitality industry. And so we are working on the Accra Marine Drive to make sure that that project goes to help us grow our economy. Here in the Ashanti region and particularly in Kumasi, the president is likely to cut salt somewhere in June for the construction of a 4,500-seater international event center, a national theater that will go to enhance the hospitality industry.
Ashanti Regional Public Relations Officer of the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, Richard Cedi, addressed concerns raised by hospitality agencies regarding the rapid depletion of prepaid electricity meters.
The major issue on tariff in Ghana today is about the fast depletion of prepaid meters. And as we are all aware, we have received a lot of complaints around the country on prepaid meters depleting as earlier than expected. And I can assure you that the good news is this morning, the Executive Secretary has summoned the management of Electricity Company of Ghana in Accra, and they are working to resolve the issue.
Emmanuel and Cummins reports for JoyNews.
The 2026 edition of the African Leadership Magazine Person of the Year Awards opened today in Accra with a strong call for Africans to take ownership of their future and shape the continent's narrative. More in this report.
Organized by the African Leadership Organization, the event's due delegate from over 24 African countries to deliberate on how to forge sustainable progress across the continent while shaping a stronger narrative around Africa's identity and history.
Our theme for this year, Leadership for a New Africa, forging our peace and owning our narrative, reflects a defining moment for all of us as Africans. Africa stands today at a powerful crossroad. Across the continent, where we see encouraging signs of transformation, rising entrepreneurial ecosystems, expanding intra-African trade, rapid digital and financial innovation, which we continue to see from Kenya to Lagos, from Nairobi to Lagos, and across the continent. And we see a new generation of young African leaders and thinkers shaping global conversations.
On his part, former President of Tanzania and Chairman of the organization, His Excellency Dr. Jakaya Kikwete, stressed the need to harness the continent's ever-growing youthful generation by investing in their skills and businesses.
Excellencies, Africa's youth must no longer be viewed as passive beneficiaries of development. They are already driving transformation across our continent. Our responsibility as leaders is therefore clear. We must expand access to finance for youth-led enterprises, build strong innovation and entrepreneurship ecosystems, remove regulatory barriers that constrain business creation and growth, and strengthen partnerships between government and the private sector to generate large-scale employment.
The event also had in attendance the Prime Minister of Lesotho, Excellency Sam Nchokwane Matekane, former Vice President of Liberia, Joel Howard Taylor, and a host of leaders from key institutions across Africa, with all emphasizing the immense potential of the continent. Some delegates also shared their thoughts with JoyPrime after the first day of the event.
I will describe today's event as more like a family meeting, as Africans, where we come together to reflect, to see how far we've come and what lies in the future and how we can actually make it better. So definitely this is not only important, but is a must that from time to time we hold events like this.
I think this is the best organization in Africa in this case. The host was very humble, very friendly, very good organized, very interesting organization. I met many interesting people.
Yeah, some of the leaders who spoke, I'm impressed the way they spoke. Is wanting to speak, is wanting to act. With the systemic problems we have in Africa, after speaking, can the system support such moves? Because our problem is systemic.
The forum continues tomorrow with a special recognition of distinguished African leaders and will be graced by His Excellency John Mahama and other prominent leaders.
Thanks so much for watching Prime Business. I am Pius Kojo-Baka. For more stories, do log on to myjoyonline.com/business. Razak Musbao is next with Prime Sports.